Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brentford Hive for another video. My name is Sean and in today's video we are looking ahead to the best FPL Game Week 10 wildcard. I'm not on a wildcard this week, and even if you are not, this video will hopefully still be helpful to you because we are looking at the best players to target across the next 3 to 5 game weeks. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's jump straight into the video. So the first position we're going to be looking at is goalkeeper, and as you can see I've selected Andre Onana and Lucas Fabianski. Fabianski, set and forget goalkeeper, not going to play this season most likely, just going to be on the bench as a cheap 4.0, could be any other 4.0, I just picked Fabianski. And Onana is actually the interesting one. I think United have potentially been slept on as good FPL picks. Starting from Game Week 10, they do face Chelsea, but after that they have a really nice fixture run across the next 5 matches, where I think they could be exploited as a very good points magnet. And Andre Onana could be a good way into that team. He does make a lot of saves, and he also has a decent clean sheet potential. United have more clean sheets this season than Arsenal, and a lot of people just smack David Raya in there, set and forget simple, but is that potentially a bit naive considering the good fixtures that United have and the poor fixtures that Arsenal have? Potentially we'll look back on this in 4 or 5 game weeks. Arsenal would have done really well, United wouldn't have done, and we'll look back and say that this is a crazy shout. But I do think Onana could be a good player to get in your team across the next 5 matches. On to the defence, we have Mikalenko, Robinson, Vandenberg, Aina and Ryan Aït-Nouri. Vandenberg for me, again 4.0, stick him on your bench as most likely your second or third sub to rotate with your cheap midfielder, and then the other 4 most likely you're going to be playing it with a back 3 each game week, so just rotate those 4. You've got one player on the bench in your defensive role that's going to be really good and potentially good enough to start each week, so you do have a good bit of depth there, which I'm someone who doesn't really use the bench an awful lot. I find just having a 2 4.5 midfielders in the team and the 1 4.0 defender and then 1 4.0 goalkeeper or something, just living it like that and put all the money into the starting lineup. But I do understand some people do like having a bit of depth. That's why I've gone with the 5 starting defenders. Vandenberg, I'm not too sure how long he's going to be starting for. He has looked very uncomfortable in that right back position, and with Rico Henry and Christopher missed Game Week 9 with an injury. Hopefully it's not too serious, but with Rico Henry coming back as well, I'm not expecting to start for much longer, so he is very much just going to be a 4.0 who is a rotation player in real life and not a rotation player for your FPL team. Moving on to the midfield, we have got Cole Palmer, Mohamed Salah, Brian Mbeumo, Dwight McNeil, and then our bench player Harry Winks. Harry Winks actually has back-to-back assists, so he's maybe being slept on a bit as the best 4.5 midfielder. A lot of people pivoted to Tyler Dibling, who was taken off early in Game Week 9. Maybe Harry Winks has been slept on. I'll just leave that there. As for Dwight McNeil, again, Everton have really good fixtures. He's looking really good, very cheap player. You have got a little bit of money in the bank, so you could upgrade him a little bit, but honestly, I actually like him. I think he's one of the best budget midfielders in the game. I have spoken a lot on Twitter about Mikkel Damsgaard, but as I have Brian and Mbeumo, and you'll see in a minute, I also have Johan Visser on my team. I'm not too interested in going with triple up on Brentford. And also remember, I have Vandenberg, so I've already got triple Brentford, but maybe you could rotate that around, maybe switch out Visser with someone, bring in Damsgaard. I don't hate it completely. We'll talk about Damsgaard a bit later on in the video though. And like I said, Salah, Palmer and Mbeumo all been really solid this season. There is a bit of talk about Saka and Song. That's going to be the main thing. Both were flagged going into Game Week 9. I'm recording this before either team plays Arsenal and Spurs, so I'm not sure if either are involved or either play or anything like that, but all I know is that both were flagged, so that's why I've left them out of this team. But of course, later in the week, if we get more news, if we say that Song's definitely fit and available for Game Week 10, he could easily come in for Palmer, and then you could switch the 2 back in Game Week 12. I don't hate that idea, I actually like it. It's probably something that I'm going to do in my own team because I did bring in Song prior to him being flagged. And then up front we do have Johan Visser, Matthias Cunha, and of course the robot Erling Haaland. We won't really speak about Haaland, I think that's easy. Some people have spoken about potentially selling him. For me, he's a set and forget player. I said that about Trent earlier in the season, and I've sold Trent. But Haaland, for me, the only reason I sell Haaland is if he is suspended or if he's injured. That's the only reason. Poor form is not something I care about too much with Erling Haaland because he's always going to get the chances and he only needs one chance to score, which we've seen multiple time and time again. And also, like I said, you can see the team on screen now. This wildcard team for me is perfectly fine. What would you actually do if you took out Haaland and replaced him with Watkins, for example? You get that bit of money back. What would you actually do with it? You'll potentially upgrade McNeil to Saka or Song maybe, which is possible. But Does that team look significantly better? Not really, because Haaland's effective ownership is going to be so high that if he hauls and you don't own him, it's just going to be a red arrow anyway, even if your other players do well. For me, that's not something I want the risk of for my team. Speaking a bit about Cunha and Wissa, both scored in Game Week 9. Wissa almost got a brace. Unfortunately, his second goal was given as an own goal, but he is a really good option. Someone I spoke about in my Game Week 9 thread on Twitter. He's someone that links up brilliantly with Brian Mbeumo. He's also someone that's really clinical. He gets a lot of opportunities, but also takes a lot of opportunities, and definitely someone to watch out for as he is a good differential. Moving on now to the best and worst fixture runs in the league. These are the teams that you should and shouldn't be targeting from Game Week 10 onwards. Now, obviously, some of these teams are fixture-proof, if you want to call it that. So I'm not saying just sell Haaland, sell Saka and all that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying these are the teams that you maybe want to watch out for with the bad fixtures. So the worst fixtures in the league, starting from Game Week 10, are Manchester City, Brighton, Aston Villa and Arsenal. Those all have really tough fixtures coming up in the next 2-3 game weeks. Something to definitely watch out for. The best fixture runs in the league are Everton, Fulham, Manchester United and Wolves. As you can see from my wildcard team, I own players from all 4 of those teams to hopefully capitalise on the good fixture run. Raul Jimenez is someone I haven't mentioned yet. He's someone that you could potentially swap out with Wissa or Cunha, and I wouldn't completely hate it because he's also a really good player. So now on to the differentials. If you follow me on Twitter, you know I'm a big fan of a differential player under 10% ownership that could really give you a good rank boost. So I've highlighted 5 players under 10% ownership. The last one is exactly 10% ownership, so I'll probably go over that by the time this video is uploaded, but still I'll include him just for the sake of it. That could potentially really help your rank. So the first one I'm looking at is Jared Bowen, someone that, again, if you maybe went without Haaland, if that's something you're interested in, or maybe if you went without Palmer, you could squeeze Bowen into that wildcard team. The next 2 fixtures on paper look really good. He's someone that's heavily slept on as an FPL asset in general, incredibly underrated as a player, and someone that could do well over the next few game weeks. I've also included Matheus Cunha and Johan Vita. I spoke about them a bit earlier. They're both in the wildcard team, so I won't speak about them too much. But again, if you don't own them in your actual team, definitely players that I look to bring in over the next couple of matches. And then the next player is Mikkel Damsgaard, another player that I spoke about a bit earlier. At only 5 million, and he's under 1% ownership. He's an ultra differential. He's been looking really good this season, passed the eye test in pretty much every game he's played for Brentford, and he's outscored Brian Mbeumo in 2 of the last 3 game weeks. So someone to definitely keep your eye on at Brentford for a super ultra differential. And then the final player is Raul Jimenez, again someone I spoke about a little bit earlier, from Fulham. They have one of the best up and coming fixture runs in the league over the next 3-4 game weeks. Someone to keep your eye on. He seems to have nailed down that spot from Rodrigo Muniz, so someone to definitely watch out for. That is it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy, please do smash that like button and subscribe, and also comment down below. I love reading all your guys' comments. Until next time, thank you so much for all the support on Twitter on my weekly threads. Make sure to go and check me out over there because I'm a lot more active over on Twitter. Hopefully going to be starting up more weekly FPL YouTube uploads, but as always, thank you so much for all the support. Stay safe, guys. Have a great week. Until next time, Hive out.